Greetings, everybody. I'm Chronicles here, and welcome back to. Let's try this again. Greetings, everybody. I'm Chronicles here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Detective Chronicles Resolve 2. I guess I should go ahead and say that. The second game of the duology. I'm Chronicles here, and welcome back. Last time we started chapter 1, part 1 of it. Today we're ending it, because I believe this is only 2 parts from I believe. I know I'm going to get a lot, so my reaction to what happened last time, my god, I did get word about, Josette, might get her comeuppance, but I was not expecting that. Yes, she got what she deserved. No pity for the dead here. She was one of the worst. She really was the worst kind of person. Now we're bringing a new witness and things are about to hit the fan. I'm so sorry, Susanna. I should have told you about the toxin. Ray. You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you've decided to shoulder the burden alone. No, that's not at all. I was just scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. Oh, I hope to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susanna? That you had no doubt in your mind I'm innocent, that you stand by my side until the last? I remember. Yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susanna. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susanna. I deserve it. No, throw me into the more. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the seats. I'm not better, you know. Oh? Even though in my heart you pulled the knife blade from Miss Bright's back, there was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you. Susanna, I'm sorry. After I stood and here I heard and promised you, as somebody said always be my son, I betrayed your faith in me too. As such, I failed you as a lawyer. Oh, no. I think this situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your underlying faith in another is not an easy task. Yes, however, that's the fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now, right? Yes? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Oh boy. Oh, Susanna. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes. Oh, Ray. This will be my only time in her only time in the court, to be honest. As a lawyer. Oh, I was scared, you know. When it happened, I don't know what's going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut. I'm listening to what I was saying. Listen to what I was saying. I know that it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever you mean. And then, a moment later, she suddenly got on her heel, but or collapsing on the floor within a knife on her back. It happened right before my eyes, and you were the only person in the hut. That's right, Miss Brett and myself, no one else. I just don't understand how she could possibly be stabbed like that. A grief mystery indeed. I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. It'll be right. However, it happened, whatever really went on that my day. I promise you I'm going to prove everything that you said was true. Spoken like a true Makatova. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We have to make sure we have our facts in order. Yes, I expect the poison's going to come to close under scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. Police should have hopefully identified it on the play by now. The trouble is, it's a completely laboratory synthetic blend of alkaloids. Police won't have any way of testing of it. Oh, I see. Yes. Well, without this chemical agent, it's impossible to detect toxins. Chemical reagent. I sent a colleague of mine with some of it earlier to deliver to the police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well through the case. Please. That's what's the matter, Cesaro. You suddenly very quiet. It's a newspaper article. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Uni medical research laboratory. I wonder how the information got out, given that it's government secret. It's what the English woman's doing. What? It was when the professor and Sasaki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. The so-called Englishwoman swaned in without any communication and said to "Oh, Professor, surely you suggest that you would love to hear about your work on that substance there." Oh boy. It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Sasaki-san curiosity had piqued mine, so I had a little choice but to give him the curiosity introduction. So then Sasaki-san knew about the poison. Yes, and it's highly likely the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too. This Minmo's son. By the way, did the reporter join you when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there. Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there. Oh. A known criminal would have been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Sasako-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office. So he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid shot, and then presumably posted it anonymously to the police. Yes, that must be what happened. Counsel? We just heard that the new witness is ready for testimony now. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed to the court at once. It's time to steel ourselves once again, then. Defense attorney Naruto told Naruto. Yes. Hey, has put her faith in me and told me everything, so I can't let her down. I have to prove that she's telling the truth, court the truth. It's true. I have to prove what really happened that day. Oh boy. I hereby call the court to order. We will reconvene the trial, continue the trial of Raymond Bay. Asadachi, have you summoned the new witness? Yeah. Well, address the question now. I have some important news to share. Oh? What news? And why does he look happy? Oh, I know what it is. The call for Professor Markovic. Where's the... The police re-examined the knife used in... Excellent. And you are rapidly hit. Oh, I knew what... I had arranged to deliver the... by rickshaw, so everyone be... judging the man's swagger. I fear he might be brace yourself for the inevitable. And the council. What's the results? Of course. The beggar was... Of course. On evasion, the test was extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. So, what if this wasn't a murder weapon? This was bad. Read the witness. No trace of poison on the knife. But that's really the... If that's really the case... How could the toxins enter the victim's body? And it's please state your name and occupation for the court. Right memento. And memento. Oh, this is the Sawyer news. I really cannot pronounce his name for the love of God. I'm what people call a journal. What's a journal, Father? Do you know? It's simply a contraction of journalist. And here, I'm here with where the breaking news, pulling the pen to paper. There are a catch of scoops. Where the prince? So the prince is coming next morning. They call me the hero, the herald for nothing. Nice guy. Oh, so what did you took this for? What do we have here? I'm sorry. Oh, where's your Sophie? I know soon. I suppose. Suddenly became a little ambitious lately. I had just focused on the steam dream for a while. I'm gonna just skip over the voice quiet on this. I hate this guy. No, the readers won't buy that. Own it! Yeah, he has no time for has-been lawyer prosecutors. If you can say. Oh, yes. What is the court? What is whether or not you're responsible for taking this photograph? It is delivered. Yeah, I wouldn't be Juno if I didn't click it when to present the scoop item or not. Sometimes stores call out to me. Sometimes I have to chase them down. Last leg, run fast. What do I do? Okay, this guy talks way too fast. That's what I call a momentum. Minimosium. Minimosium. Ah, yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Sasaki-san. Ah, yes, that's right. That was me, Minimosium. No, again. Do you suppose to be going back to show news after a meeting? But the scoop is I didn't. Because he was one whose words had piqued my journalist's instincts. Miss Bright's words. A criminal left to do as she pleased just because she happened to be a British salesman. It's horse-drawn. The country's trustee is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court ruling aren't worth paper they're writing on. The police are just pawns. Stop your tongue, man. Oh, man. There's a complex political issue at play. Well, anyway. I'm talking about those words. That's what he said on them. Alrighty, and it's out. Here it goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket? The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after him. To get the woman I could hammer her on in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? Oh boy. Oh boy. Thank you, my son. Can you give me former testimony before the court? You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed on the events of this running. That. Oh boy. The camera overlays. The beach hut was made out of shoddy old red screen, so there were plenty of gaps so I could see inside though. The English woman was sitting on the stool when that girl came started arguing with her. A second later, the girl pulled out a knife and thrown the English woman on the floor and stabbed her on the back. I pulled apart the leaves and on the scene, poked through and shot for shot. Oh boy, this guy's testimony is now red scenes, you say. Right, you see clearly the great job at Snap. The hut is just made closely woven red. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through, bring some relief from summer heat. And for the breeze for me, poke the camera through and see the whole thing on up. Ignoring from the time being appalling invasion privacy problem. Did you witness everything that happened the moment the defendant did? Oh yes, I saw it. The whole thing was started. And you say you took a photograph during the gaps on this? Luckily for me, they were pretty sudden. They won't. I pulled the needle part of the rest of the camera lens to gap. Oh, I knew. Why? Oh boy. Okay, that's the examination. At last, it would appear we have it. Evidence. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one large question. What question? Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all making an exceptional story for a reporter. Why then was the story never published? Oh, that's right. It seems clear that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. More excuses. Very well then, Counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. More importantly, his camera.
Hold it!
What made you want to see what happened inside the beach hut in the first place? Call it journal instinct. Can you think of a better reason? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because we as well are being a proven criminal person inside a young woman. Inside was a young woman. I see where you're going with this. Brace yourselves, people. He's painting a journal in the voyeur. As a voyeur. It hardly slander. You had a camera, and you were taking photos without the woman's knowledge. Oh, you got it all wrong, little student boy. Sorry. To my mind, the hut was a scoop, nothing more, nothing less. The scoop has no gender, no genders. Man, woman, news, not even. Actually, you're wrong about that one, Butto. Only the courtroom was discriminated. Was as discriminated. Alright, so I brought up. If it was all buttoned up, can we move on? Can teleport and witness website. Alright, that's.
Hold it!
So you actually saw Moment's son entering the hut. Yep, and she was raging like a journalist. And the argument you mentioned, what was it about exactly? You still like, I didn't steal it. That kind of thing. Talking about the poison, I suppose. The student girl was. I mean, she laid it onto her more. The more would be. The man should have been an author. His descriptive talent are wasted on journalism. Ooh. But the student's ranting fell on deaf ears like a jab. Okay, I won't listen to that. Say that. Like, he really ought to work on his smiles first. To be honest, at any point, anyway, the point is, Mary, in here, temper got the better of her. It seemed, Jimmy, which was, look. Did you swear before the court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place? Ha! The precise moment? I didn't just see that. It was a whole hell of a scene to play out from start to finish. Yes, I have here the simple plans on the beach hut. Perhaps you can use it to explain to the court exactly where you were, witness. Right, here you are. As all as Memento said. It was I first peered into the hut. I'm sure the Englishwoman stood at the back of the hut there. Yes, it gives its testimony to confirm that. She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly. What I noted. It's my turn to testify now. Oh, not time. The next moment, I saw her walk. The evil girl said, hello, while the. Oh boy. Please. son? What are you watching eternally unfold before your eyes? Did you not notice trying to prevent the tragedy rather than capture in the film? Oh, no, let's have to be observers. You can't evolve, that's rather than... So he didn't convert from his bread at all. Obviously not. I was thought an observer always remain outside of doom. And that's something to be proud of, isn't it? Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor? I think the witness last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his former testimony. Father, where are you? Granted, the defense is defense. Alright, son, will you submit your formal testimony? Oh.
Hold it!
The court is fully aware of your desire to capture the incident on film, I'm sure. But why did you choose to post the photograph anonymously to the police? I'm afraid I don't understand words coming out from your young mouth. I'm asking why a journalist would decide to not make a story after the incident. I think of me as a sculptor. A sculptor makes art. I never discuss my own personal principles. I mean basic. And it's not something to boast about. No doubt you're burning this. That's it. That's only it. Burning desires or something yourself. There has to be a good reason why he didn't think right here. By your own admission, you were outside the hut. How then did you manage to take the photograph? Ah, yes, I'm glad you asked. I pulled apart through the weave on the screen to poke the lens in the perfect shot for the...
Hold it!
But the two women inside didn't notice? Ah, obviously not. If they had, they would have been right, you know. I would have been now in jail. That's where. Would you make sense? What do you think would make you reflect on what you were doing? Oh, journal's job is to collect as little snippets of life and unperturbed as possible. Leaving nothing but footprints. Take nothing but photos. Yes, spot on. Did he just make that up? The point is, the witness risked his limbs to take, and the photograph was real to hold. Oh, nothing. He claims to have spied the whole affair from the finish. If true, the testimony is devastating, but it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't he? That's how he feel. If he feel, that's someone everything he said. Now, so what you did? See many times.
Hold it!
Really, you didn't set foot in the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that? I think I made a wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves are stretched from breaking point already. Oh, I see. You were scared. Maybe I did have the wrong. Yes. It was, as I said, a stifled scream, needing to hold my hand steadily enough to snap a photo. You really should have been summoned to help before thinking of your camera. Humanism and humanism don't always agree. Humanism. Touche. And most of the time, in those instances, my mother's son come out on top. A sculptor's stories sometimes always have a cruel. My arts, yes, that's the spot on. Surely he's making up all this up. He claims to have spied the whole family. That's true, but it doesn't seem as though he's holding back, does it? Of course. There must be a little reservoir holding ink. Yes, you filled the drawing. Something wrong, Father? It's just there's something doesn't actually appear to be in ink. That is all. Oh yes, right. It's pretty much empty. Oh, that could be a very urge of running out, I suppose. Oh man, this is...
Hold it!
I'm testing everything again. Be right back. We pressed everything.
Hold it!
Hold on.
Hold it!
Ah. I'm stuck here, guys. very stumped here.
Objection!
Nope. Son, until now I've heard from the newspaper business covering the problem. It's spot on there. That doesn't lie. It's not. Sadly, though, it seems your journalist wrote for those papers doesn't always share the same passwords. What are you suggesting? Those are correct words. Remember, son, do you recognize this fountain pen? Well, this pen was found at the scene of Miss Barrett's death. In fact, the murder victim was grabbing in her hand when she died. Where are you? If you're looking at the barrel of the pen, you notice that it fits the owner's initials on it, RM. Thank you. Is it considered wider? If your initials also, that your initials are, well, rating minimum at RM. That's all you get, as the court is clearly able to see. You are right able to see on your right hand. There's always an obvious blue ink stain. It would appear that you rather clearly left something somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Of course I have. Remember, son? Not if that's the case, you said before she died. You met me.
I'll teach you!
Hi. Everybody listen? No, it's not. That's actually. Wait, definitely. The defense has neither the time nor inclination to count every star in the sky. And there's no need anyway, because the pen has more to tell another clue. The clue is unable to be proved. The holes were. Yes. In that case, counsel, the defense would like to. Of course, Your Excellency. It's the insignia. That I can tell you.
Got it!
As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on the fountain. An emblem that you are, of course, will recognize from Miranda's son. Goodness me. It's the emblem on Soho's News. In other words, the owner of this pen and the employer's art is the image of RM. Suddenly, the stars don't seem so numerous, do they? Oh, my little son, how do you respond? Got him. That's really something. Oh boy. Alright then. Fine. I won't try to hide anymore. Yes, no. Or the grim tragedy unfolds. I news of wire on behalf of the public. Conducted an interview with the English one. In the interview? You never mentioned that before. What exactly was it? As I said before, it was an evil girl soon showed up. It could have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes. That's all the belief exchange. But there came nothing everyone. So to say, that people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. However, it's deemed to be, the court cannot overlook the meaning between yourself and the victim. You will testify under oath the precise nature of the meeting, what transpired. Got it, alright, but... one condition. Condition? It's all good, Radimus. I could not speak alone about this. You need not to call back the witnesses or the son. Oh boy, let's... Yes, according to my notes, that man has a secret of his own. Brace yourselves. Because it's not a harmless one, it's big. What? What? My other son states that one man's secret is everyone's front page story. Son is hiding something. Oh. I asked the English woman there for an interview, but she did not decline. So I left the hut without making a fuss. And watching the sleeping from outside, I saw the woman stabbed from the other witness. The detective realized the victim had a fall, so he ran to fetch help. That's when the writer here asked the woman the very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why I'm going to reveal it now. Oh boy. You mean to say the victim regained consciousness? And when did you decide to ask her a question? That's true, yes. He did, and that's not all. The woman gave him a very different man. Oh boy. It wasn't even a conversation. Yes, I did pose the most question, I don't deny. But she could no longer speak. She barely was conscious even. Or mustn't. Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporters claiming that Mr. Red's implicated Barrett Clump somehow. Well, how on earth could that happen in the hut? You asked for an amphitheater, you say? Well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in last year. About the case about John H. Wilson's lost life. That's not the way to phrase it. My Muslims call it for straight talking. Why did you want our Wilson? Is how I put it to her. Yes, that's sort of talking as straight as a ruler. Even asked every question. If you were asking for a menu for the restaurant, I say it's this way. A veteran at the paper taught me that. And how did Miss Bright answer? With one simple phrase. Mystery woman is a charm. Mystery is a woman's charm. Whoa, that's what he told me. That told me she waltzed right out of there. Really, something about that doesn't quite fit it together. Leave every room as if you were waltzed like into the dance hall, I say, that's why. Veteran paper at the paper taught me that. Oh boy.
Hold it!
That's very persistent of you, considering that Mr. Red that had just turned you away. Persistence wins for the prize. Any mementos will tell you that. Yes. Then you left the lower their guard and swoop one for the scoop. Ah, sir. Actually, it states that photograph we managed out of Edna's suspicion. And this is how you found me. That's how you found me. I tell you, whatever you want to know, I got nothing to hide. I'm sure. Please go on. Alright. Let's stop.
Hold it!
And so Nagasaki-san remained behind the hunt. That's right, yep. On our friend here. The blabbering rat shaking all over his head to toe, mustache twitching, eyes pulsing. What do you expect? You don't know the terrifying troubles that taunted me with those traveling abroad. Back behind before baleful bars. They'll be coming for me, sure. But that's all to come to think of it. I felt as though I was grasping for air around me. Of course, Sasako-san, his experience in London has scared him deeply. As the world seems to close around me, I completely finally recite the prayer of Ahmed Baba. Eternal emptiness, empty. I can barely. Internal emptiness, empty eternity. I think it's phrased wrongly, but if I remember correctly, the end is coming surely. That's no sort of to resound the courtroom, please. And now, down to the gristle ward, that's all.
Hold it!
What question do you exactly ask? Well, now... Hear that from Larson, honey. Don't you, Mr. Right? Alright. How with that? Well, in truth, I really can't. Well, the seaside places leader I suppose outweighing romance. But all of a sudden, from the little beach hut, the little girl's panic-stricken cries help. Right. I ran up to the beach, leaning over the clock. Sounds about the house anyway. Well, he sprinted to get help. And then I heard a faint moan. A moan on the... I nearly jumped and almost hit. But what did you ask her? Ask her, who did this to you? Oh. You didn't. She had no... But... Well, I understand you will answer the question. Now, I will. She never.
Hold it!
So you tried to find out who the culprit was. He asked the question a full for a minute. He doesn't remain never full. I haven't been labeled as a criminal twice during my great time writing. Really? Or to be a fool for a moment, then remain a fool in prison forever. However, you indicated that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct? I know why. I know why the English woman said nothing. She was ignoring me because and my mustache because I'm... Oh dear, Sasaki-san really developed a dislike for English, it seems. Having to read the reporter on his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised he is xenophobic. Yeah. But the English woman doesn't ignore you at all, did she, Mighty Man? Well, yes, alright. She didn't respond in the manner of speaking, I suppose. She filled the trembling finger in the direction of the...
Hold it!
This berate pointed at the finger.
Objection!
Oh, I hate this guy so much. That's a serious loss, I know. Unless we told him. We have no choice. We must think back to what we learned thus far. Something about those details I go for. My account the funds to fold of the achievement. She told us what happened first last moment was right. Was sitting in the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying, and then a moment later, she suddenly got up on her feet, and before she collapsed on the floor in front of me, she was knife in her back. How could Miss Berate have been stabbed in the back? The big shot was empty by herself. Something was amiss, and together the answer must be. That's nothing. Hold on.
Objection!
Why? Your Excellency, I respect. Oh, to what? To the defense, would like to present the culprit with the attorney there to explain.
Objection!
Announcer.
Objection!
There's somehow. What? And the victim, Miss Berate, tried to reveal what's the ringers. This is fantasy. Caught in a landslide. No. Yes, you're right. Somewhere around here.
Take that!
try this again.
Take that!
Someone never. Actually, Prosecutor, there was I. And according to fact, the defense could prove evidence strongly suggesting that the person behind Miss Wright was killed. Well, you're bluffing. You're bluffing. Or it's a courtroom photo.
Take that!
A court photo. The original photograph was seen. Yes, it's clearly visible the frame. The trace of the frontal thrust is outside the
Objection!
Do you take us for fools? It's not sure it is. He's present. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed that what it was what I'm referring to. Yeah, so once again, do you not? Are you gonna stop lying and not see the cut? Seriously?
Take
Boom! And look closely here. And the screen back of the hut, you can see the exact effects of a blade have been forced through the reeds. No! It can't. I can't see such a thing. It's true that the hut questions for walls as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, the knife could easily penetrate. Yes. That's true. Culvert is actually stabbed the victim from the outside of the beach. Anyone present had seen there were only one and only person who was directly outside the hut when it was.
Objection! Objection!
No, of course not. Why not? Why not? If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events in the court, beside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Red. But she just stood up in the back of the hut, smiling clearly at me as she knew she was untouchable. Stool. Having another look at the photograph. The slit in the reed was lying partially in the back of the person that stood with the soul. See? My word. So, in fact, victim was killed while the hands was sitting on the side. Where did the thing? Your own son, son. I take it that you don't deny the charge. This is bizarre. see. Yeah, but there's a problem. Oh boy. I figured it. Dad would have some problems. Oh boy. No. What are you talking about? I just know. Look, man, I'm talking about the fact that. How did he know about that? That's oh boy.
Objection!
Oh, that can't be explained.
Objection!
I hate this guy already. This is bad. This is very bad.
Hold it!
This. Where the frequent? I thought I am. This food, let's slip right back into. That's where is the trial going to take us? being innocent. Oh yes, that's still the woman usually. That's the fact that I'm innocent. Because why would I bother someone if she was? This guy has a point. Oh, you admit then that everything happened this way. That you were the one who's. You can't blame the miserable. A country that bows to the pressure of the foreign. What? You just admitted to murder, dumbass! You guessed it. Your Excellency.
Hold it!
So, you admit that you had murderous intentions towards me, but yeah. The woman's very resistance offended my sense of justice. Your sense of... He's claiming some sort of righteous judge. He was pure evil, cold-blooded killer who committed a murder here in our empire's soil. He has a point there. Did our good-for-nothing government do anything? Not a chance. So I had to step in. Fly the flag of justice. Put things right for the people. It was my civic duty. That's what drove me to do it. So, in summary, murderous attention thing. Touche. Whatever you want to call it. The point is this. The English woman was right. So I had the right. Yeah, the real wrong was done. The student girl ended. Obviously, because the poisonous thing was nothing to do with me at all.
Hold it!
So you're still maintaining you didn't give the poison to the victim? Obviously, that would be putting a belt on your trousers when you're ready to wear them. The accused of innocent of poison the following which of the witness established. Forgivable act certainly, but not one of the murder. Those crimes. Is it how the world? You see, who knows? Maybe. Two consecutive attempts on our life. In sparse of 2 minutes, quite a name for a victim. So do something that evil. You got something coming. That's how the law works, I reckon. That's not how quite the law holds. You will read of why you can. What exactly were you arguing about? Are you arguing about what happened at the restaurant 9 months ago? That's what. A student girl was laying in the end for a killing. You heard what I meant? Yes, John H. Wilson. A professor of medicine invited from England by Professor Monketel. Right, but the English woman just jeered. Her case was to be heard by the British Consular Court in Shanghai, however. There was little doubt she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman. It was eating that student girl inside, so you could see you could tell herself. I can't stand here listening to this fight. Ray, young girl, you stand accused here. You just can't. No, you can't. Sorry. What the hell, man? It's making me all this up. So, please, man.
Hold it!
I just want to say, please, implore you. Journalist is code not trust. Listen, he's a fucking black-hearted. Oh, take it easy there. Please, I really think you tortured your mom. Alright, so say easy. What, Your Excellency? This. As such, I believe it would be fastest.
Hold it!
The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean? I suspect her of being the one stealing. I was thinking about how she... So that's true. True. Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of a new poison. But surely it would not be easy to steal a highly skilled secret toxin from the government. Indeed, all visitors in the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if they manage to avoid being seen by myself a colleague, getting the poison out will be very difficult. That's true. I pestered Professor Mortova until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited his laboratory. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail. But Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we've been developing, you see. And since Sasaka-san expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance. I'm very ashamed of myself. It was just that I have singularly terrifying experience with deadly poison. I wanted to look up my old enemy in the eye. Surely you can understand that. To find the suspicions are true, I confronted Miss Redfield. I told her that if the incident of revolving somehow would have been the military would be dragged into it, the whole government even. It would even be a complete disaster. And how did Miss Red respond to your concerns? She just crawled up in the beautiful lips and said she didn't know the first thing about it in English, actually. Ah, yes, one small question, if you don't mind. If I don't mind, I do mind, can't see him. Clearly, you were outside the hut listening to me. Or similarly, then, it was you who wrote this article about what you heard. Exclusive deadly poison stolen from Human Academy Research Laboratory. Story published in the morning's editing of Caesarea News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else. Sorry, I didn't know what you were talking about. Yes, look at this. The entire article. It's almost as if that's what I said, Miss Fred's word for word. Ugh. Well, there's my son. I don't. This isn't working. As a phrase. I don't have to run my secrets. Shut up. Why so I never sing? Whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the
Objection!
You say so? Well, I can't certainly think of one reason. Well, what? But before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean any information from the newspaper from what you overheard outside the hut? Of course he did. What was the question at all? After all, what? And there's one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Memori's son's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it couldn't have been impossible for her to slip the poison into Miss Barrow's drink. What are you suggesting? Memori's son made it quite clear he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant somehow found the opportunity, this man would have seen it. Ugh. Which means Miss Barrett couldn't have embedded the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been inserted before Memory's son entered the hut. Yes. When I walked into the hut, I merely started to press Miss about the poison. At which the point, Memory's son overheard some worrying information. Worrying information? What about what worrying? The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper, namely, that the poison was developed strictly in secrecy, and it couldn't be readily obtained. Absolutely. In fact, that's a quite understatement. The only possible place it could have came from is my lab. And furthermore, anyone affected by the poison would be exhibited telltale signs in death. The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite startling to see. If there are other poisons to show similar symptoms, but not amongst this new substance, that's creatively detectable. In other words, it's clear that the victim's life had ended some use for which might introduce a number of suspects only to a handful of people. Everyone in the laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxins we've been developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it on someone nefarious person. Memory's son being no exception. Therefore, we can only conclude the administrator of the unique poison was a lab person unaware of its cartel. Ugh. In other words, someone like you, brain mother. Ah, God. And it was you, image. That's right. Because the poison just knows. And yet you listen from Isn't it obvious, Council? But he had hoped to participate. Exactly. Here comes the problem.
Objection!
Who else using this? And here goes the objection, of course. Yeah. And I already know what to do. Because this guy, you fallen help. Oh, who are you calling for? I don't need a counter argument. Why can't we? I mean, what, Professor? Point taken. I forgot. Yeah, I was hoping you did not catch that. As you identified, the poison itself is definitely the answer you need. Because whoever stole it will never is the truth. What is your point? My point is this. There is one way that you, my little son, could have stolen the poison that day. What? I've heard enough. Thank you. It's a pen! The proof, Your Excellency, is a fountain pen. Ah, the fountain pen. How could you possibly remember it? The magical pen somehow seems to have enough ink written many outside of the character. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time from 15 years ago now. I swear, there's nothing clear. Well, forward thinking many words. I absolutely. That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in their barrels. Now, in which the ink is sucked up to the mouth of the pen. In other words, the written letter. What does all this talk about sucking ink have? Ah, you finally caught on, Auntie. And just as possible to sink into the reservoir, it's possible to eject through the nub, of course. But can it possibly be? Well, Memento-san, what do you say to the deadly? You defend your. Nice. And we. What? That's so sweet. Never had that. True. We heard of very peacefully. But would anyone have thought to look inside the fountain pen in the first place at all places? No. In fact, I'm safe to say, for years of offending our guests, such a detail, search would have not become conclusive. Well, this is quite startling, I must say. I'm reminding the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene of the So, the crucial question is, when exactly was the pen dropped? Or are you suggesting? Is that your heist the whistle of the victim was distracting for the moment? You dropped the pen in order for the new class.
Objection!
I just could have used the pen right down.
Objection!
Nope, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen is the white meat? What? Are you sure? As you can see for yourself. If you examine the evidence, you can appear no ink is present in the reservoir. And what newspaper guard interviewed someone, nothing found the pen. No, the pen was dropped after the poison was spilled from House Barnacle. What do you have to say? It looks as though he's going to take one final close-up blow to finish this matter. As I see it, the situation is very simple. If the fallen witness indeed is still the person in question, and therefore, it depends on whether the defense can prove the evidence. There's no such evidence could possibly exist. May I tell someone? This is how our modern justice system works. What? In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do to remember. Because we were well past the point of speculation at this point in stage, I assure you. Very well then. I call on the defensive defenses. This is it, then. This will be the final. And I know what it is because we brought it up earlier. The defense can prove it by means of this item. This is the witness. It's the regent.
Take that!
Also, what is this bottle? This bottle contains a chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question. Yes, that poison is entirely new synthesis of alkaloid. That's developed by my colleague and I. It would be impossible to detect traces by other method. Or, from another perspective, or simplifying KISS chemical reagent, anybody at all could check the traces of poison. A reagent! What? Case closed! One drop of this reagent of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, my member son. It's all it will take to solve this case beyond reasonable doubt. Case closed! Your crimes are bad enough. At least know when to admit defeat. Your Excellency, the defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once. Not quite. That was a very retardable takedown. Case closed. The instant that the first shot of the razor touched the nib of the pen, it was clear to everyone present. Case closed. When I saw it there in the lab, the poison, I just devil got to me, and I decided to do it on a whim. I accused myself and emptying my pen in the sink. The bathroom washed the reservoir out. And then you waited for the opportunity to snuck up on some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen. That's right. Ask me one thing, my medicine. Why did you steal it? From, or what purpose? Isn't it obvious? To find me what it's made of and expose it in an article. I mean, it was a secret project after all. It was too juicy after all for a journal like me to pass up. Then why did the Englishwoman end up dead? I went into the hut, intended to quiz her on the situation. That's all, as a reporter. A known killer, enjoying the full freedom, evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face. Oh, what's this? A Far Eastern caveman proper. Really, you must learn the difference between reporting and listening at the doorway, you I'm not gonna say that. What did you call me? This country was pretentious to a justice system, to a free press. It's really depending. You see, our superior ways in the West yet to lack the mental capacity and like them. Getting them out. Get out here, you old. Get out and fall back to hidden kingdom. That's when I remember the deadly poison I have. Oh, what a terrible tale. In my head, I knew I should just get out of there as quickly as possible. I couldn't let her get away with what she'd done when she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my journal spirit getting all fired up. So he stabbed her with a pen. I'd like to ask you something. Yes? You often talk about justice. But surely as a journalist, you could have used other means to deliver justice you sought. There's no justice in the press. Sorry? After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what happened in that courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up. That's what it was. A cover-up? What do you mean? I remind you of your first lesson was, be careful what you say. Oh, come on. Doesn't it strike you as strange? We suddenly are not allowed to convict a foreign nationalist? This whole consular jurisdiction could never came on to it. And yet, popped up English was going to set sail away. The sudden one, that's the only possible explanation in the scene. Some deal had gone down between the British and Japan. What sort of deal? I've done some of my research and dug up the dirt. I was ready to pop me. But you know what happened? The editor just tore up the article. He claimed he came under pressure from the government. You mean? If our government's going to let criminals walk free, they're going to crush the free press. That's when Let's not forget, my son, that you committed murder yourself, and you tried to blame the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you are no better than Josette, right? What? The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all. I suppose both of them got a point, though. Here that we reach the conclusion of this trial at last. Counselor for defense, we're told to nod at him. Oh, yeah, yes. Sorry, Your Excellency. Just using in mailing way, mainly. It's almost unbelievable that this is your first experience in the Supreme Court. It was Morris truth. It very reminds me of your cousin's points. Oh, Naruto-san. What exactly you mean? The way he handled the night problem and the way he handled this one, it gives me hope that we're genuinely entering a new era of justice in this land. That's very flattering, Your Excellency. Hearing the defense put forward today, you made freely, most likely kneeling, the furniture of our justice and will be forged by your accomplice. Thank you. Well then, Prosecutor Aichi, do you have any final thoughts? Of course, he would pull this stunt. Oh my god. Prosecutor, I have been bested by you not once but twice. If only there was a shred of former self. Well, it was withered and died here today. Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it? Silence. Other than living in the shame, you hide in this body. Geez, one hope. The only way was the only modeling himself after that witness. Bring your minds up. Time for the right for farewell. Hope is lost forever. And with that, the Payne's family is pretty much cursed to be, forever cursed to lose in trial 1 of every game. By all defendants. Now, in regards to the defendant, yes, Your Excellency, I have reached my final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty. See ya, Aichi. Go see ya never. Of course, adjourned. Supreme Court. And the case is finally over. Oh, yeah. It's over. My heart's still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do is just stay standing. Lawyers have such a great responsibility and such a great burden to bear. Don't they, Naruto-san? So Zano says. Thank you so much for your dashing in there. Hey, Father. Honestly, I'm touched by everything you've... Oh no, I think I'm going to cry. Go ahead. It wasn't easy. Together we made it. It was I was verge of tears in the end too. The only reason I'm still here is because of you. Oh no. I can't take all the credit. I took the courage to tell the truth here. You did wonderfully, Ray. So I would have to say that the congratulations belong to you. First, don't be so stubborn, no. Sorry. We're friends, equals. When the trial's over, say no, so no more of this former or super humility nonsense. It's time to celebrate with swagger. Throw a caution in the wind. Caution to the for the great forever. No, and taking your milk and water tomorrow. Or something. Right, I see. I'll think about it, right? Anyway, we'll really knock the wind out of the horn. Man, it felt so good. Yes, it was satisfying. It was some. Isn't there anybody else we could do? I beg you're not looking at me, right? Oh my goodness, no, of course not. There's a last race, lovely smile. Young, you fought for your friend for the very last. As your father, I'm certainly proud of you. As a defense story. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without your help. Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Roberto, I think. I think I'll submit some anyway, but it's back to Susanna in a while now. So, I'll never see him again. What? Oh, they heard the whole... What is happening? Oh, Sasaki-san, I hope you are keeping well. Is that really you? Yes, I heard. Had a change of appearance for well obvious reasons. I hope it's me. Makataba. I don't. So daddy, so the fine. Oh, daddy, really, that's you and the devil is divine. Just look at you. I had no idea this is out of that inspired that you were local. So, what's Sasaki-san? So confused. I still remember the first time I met him. He was in the prison cell in London. What an extraordinary conundrum it was a wedding student from Japan finding the boy in. But after Naru's careful defense, the Old Bailey Sasaki-san was free to return to Japan. And now he's having himself a great fame as an author. I'm stunned. That is truly impressive disguise. You know, I had no idea that I'm the chief inspector at the police bureau who came up with Mr. Turtle and all that. Really? I'm sure you would admit, we should be admitting that. Amazing. You're a woman with many faces, I think. Just to really, this is a once in a lifetime event. I'm not attached through. I'm not a patch on you. Go, Miss Isbeth. Well, I'm professional, of course. Professional and stupid, though. I really do worry about it sometimes. I really do. 9 months ago, he appeared here in the Supreme Court. That's alright. He was undercover disguised as he was a waiter at the restaurant. And then the stepping court. Disguised as a sailor safe on the journey. Oh, he didn't help you. You did it, Kusama-san. From my perspective, I have to admit I have mixed feelings about this. I mean, now the truth has been lost forever. What do you mean? Talking about the murder of the Englishwoman committed at the end of the 8 minutes. Yes, it was England's doctor that she killed, as I understand. Dr. John Wilson, yes. A man and invited to Japan recently. The mystery is why she killed him. Why did? And now the culprit is dead. We'll probably never know the. On the voyage to Great Britain, we might have most unexpected encounter with Mr. Sherlock Holmes, a great detective, I mean. Yes, I remember Mr. Holmes well, of course. My arch nemesis. Oh, Lightning, what are his name? Well, according to the stories published about him, the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the detective once had partnered help some solve a crime with his best friend. And that man was this affluent doctor named by John H. Wilson. What? Dr. Wilson? I can't believe that is a coincidence. I think that the doctor of medicine killed here is in Japan 9 months ago. Must have been his friend, the friend and partner of Mr. Holmes. And if that is really true, then the poor girl won't ever see her beloved father again. As you know, I traveled to Great Britain myself once to study. It was around the time you were born. Yes, grandmother told me about that. When I returned to Japan, I took a professional ship. I took behind my pet ship on Imperial Airways. I also served another role as an advisor to the government of the Department of Affairs. Yes, I was aware of that as well. In that case, I'm sure you understand there are some confidential matters I cannot divulge to you. Could you just tell me one thing? Why did you summon me back to Japan? Huh? It's been 2 months since I returned. When I left England, it was because of an urgent telegram I received in Japan. It said that you collapsed from high fever. You were going right away. What? We never knew where that news come from. That was what I'd like to know, because after a long sea voyage, I found you in health, Father. Was there something in Great Britain that you received that might inconvenience me in some way or harm me? That's really the only explanation I can think of. Dear me, you deserve the most cunning glare of your fault. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I really can't. Oh, let me go. Oh. I got one last to say before I take me away, Professor. Huh? I know the truth. I know you had in what went on in that visiting student's fate. Visiting student? Jezebel's. No, not her. A student of law who left from Great Britain 8 months ago. Susato Kazama. What are you talking about? What this happens to Kazamas? Nobody here in Japan knows about anything about it. Do you know that the guy never made it to England? That he died on the sea, and then he'll never. Well, I didn't expect to find him in here. Where were you? Where were your officers flying? Or sorry, you said. I was coming to tell you the rickshaw has arrived, and it's a great job I came by. Yes, thank you for dealing with him. I'll be there shortly. Oh, Your Excellency. The trial's over. I'm not Your Excellency anymore. Merely your father's friend, Cicero Jogian. I may say that since I saw you last, you have taken more of a dashing appearance, Cisato. You knew all along from the start of the trial? A judge sees everything, Cesaro. I couldn't let you take the risk. If Cesaro here hadn't known, then he would recognize you. So I had a word in his ear beforehand as an old friend. So, Cesaro, shall we? Having ruled on that case, we now have various similar issues to address. Over your father, sorry, my dear, we still have to return to our early conversation later. Well done, again, both of you. Thank you. What do you think of the Cesaro sling? Whatever could father have been hiding from me? About Jezebel Brett, about Dr. Wilson. And now it seems, according to the reporter, about the Kazama. I'm going to have to bring this up with father sometime, when nobody else is around. The additional assistant Mogadova expires. Could I have a word? Oh, yes, of course. Suzaku-san, was it? I think perhaps it could be fate that we're meeting again like this now. You see, there's something I need to tell you. Oh? I believe that it may be the reason why, related to the reason why your father was summoned back from England. Why your father summoned you. Oh? Please, Suzaku-san, tell me. Well. As you know, from the time in England, it was terrible, cursed, I have no doubt. Such an awful thing I was involved in. Thank goodness. After he secured my freedom, I couldn't wait to get back on the ship here in my homeland. Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experience in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Professor Mikatova. He wanted to ask all sorts of things about my report. My father, he seemed to be especially taken with a particular part of the report. Anyway, he left eventually, having thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the next day he sent the telegram asking me to return. What was it then, the particular part of my father that was interesting you? I don't really know exactly. Do you remember them? Those two terrible cases I was caught in? Of course. Could never forget. Your father seemed concerned about me with the second one. Oh, the second one? You mean the one with Mr. Soames forbade us to talk about in public? Why only case involving that you made any public aware as the first? So I don't care. I have to listen to what that dastardly detective said. Anyway, the point is, it seems that case that somehow holds the key to all these curious unanswered questions. The horrific Henry's case, that's the case of the haunted lodgings. And I have a feeling that's the next case, if I believe correctly. The case somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan. I thought the whole business was over, but it seems I was wrong. Perhaps it was only the start. Perhaps the story is not yet told. And that's case one. Oh.
So, the mystery of that English woman's death is solved, thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better. How you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san.
So it's pronounced Naruhodo. It's really hard to pronounce his last name.
I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. Father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again. Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The sky is a brilliant blue. It makes me long to see you again. Yours, Susato.
Whew. I have a feeling that will be brought up in the next case. Peace. And we got the Susato's Assess trophy. Yes, save. Alright, case 1 done. Oh boy. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, this was a pretty interesting case. I mean, we did, yeah, still we still have unanswered questions from the first case of the previous game. But, to be honest, there's that did get our comeuppance. But, we still never got the answer to why. Though, I guess we might get it later. As for this case, I definitely rated, like, I definitely rated, like, probably, like, a 7, 7.5 out of 10. It's not bad. And it's definitely a good case, from what I play right now. Don't know where I would rank it, but definitely is a good case. I'll have to play the other cases to find out. And for tutorial case, this definitely lacked the tutorials, that's for sure. But that said, next time, aka tomorrow, we'll start off the memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Oh, judging by the name of that, it sounds like it's has to revolve around case 4 of the previous game. Now, I did hear this case is going to be one of the big ones. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Well, but, oh boy. Hey, I believe this doesn't fall under the Case 2 syndrome, because I'll say this, like I said, Case 2s have been having some downhill problems. Last game's, Case 2 was a problem, and to be honest, it's still not my favorite. But, with that said, I'm MGunnels3. I'll catch you guys later. See you next time.